question is not if you are getting it right. The question is, are you being part of it? And sometimes getting it right means first, you might get it wrong.
We are in an era that we should innovate, then innovate, and last, we have to regulate.
That's where the decisions are being made on your behalf. That's where the hackers on the other side are utilizing the agentic AI to speed up their processes.
Proper governance, proper regulation and policies to govern the use of the data in such AI platforms.
One single click in an accounting department or marketing department or whatever can cause damage to the whole organization.
So it becomes almost hard for us in information security to train people to protect these AI from malicious inputs that it then could otherwise find their way in.
So as we have been discussing about the evolving the cyber threats in this AI era, we are here to discuss about the awareness and also how an AI is playing a dual role over here, making it as the innovative stuff and having it helping us in every aspect. And also the other phase is about the new risk, what we are facing here. I'm thrilled to welcome Mr. Ali from Bahrain, who is an industry specialist and also in the decision making and strategies. Mr. Ali, I would like to know from your end, how is this AI transforming the operations in the critical industries, the industries where you work, and how do you see it reshaping the entire cybersecurity?
Yes, see, AI comes with the niche of the technology. We started the industrial revolution with the cloud-based solutions. However, the AI comes as a niche of that technology, and it has a massive capability. I started initially as data analytics and as Gen AI, which is basically generating the content, deep analyzing the data which we received from the big data, from the IoT devices, from the stream data that you receive from different data sources. And this deep analysis gives it insightful triggers. So it is analyzing the data and keeps to that insightful that this is the point, this is the action that it needs to be do it. So the Gen AI with this massive deep learning on the data structure and even unstructured data, it gives that insights for report. However, that we are in an era that the AI it has a capability for autonomous process, which means that it takes the decision. It understands the situation and it can take the decision.
Amazing. Dr. Martin, from your experience, what would you like to join with the Mr. Ali?
Yes, I travel a lot across Europe, and then my pleasure to be in the Middle East. When I come here, I notice very quickly that what we see in the news, it's a partnership, less than happen at the level, also translate to everyday life, like translate to the safety warnings. Get here in the World Trade Center in Dubai, where every morning we get warnings about traffic, and it's excellent. We manage traffic for everyone to get in. So why really is at the forefront of all of this developments. What I'm always quite curious is and to understand, does it take to get there? What is the setup? What are the data centers? What are the processes that you have in place to make that happen? For us working in cybersecurity also, how do you actually secure an infrastructure like this? This is one of the big questions that I always ask myself.
That's great. And we are here with Mr. Mahmood, who is the CEO of VirtueThinko, and also having industry experts in the financial sector, right? The banking and the insurance sector. Mr. Mahmood, I would love to hear from you. What is the change you're seeing in this particular industry?
Thank you for having me at this. Basically, when it comes to the AI and the big data and the analysis, which requires a lot of processes and lots of human who can intervene and look at the logs and analyze all these traffic. With today, the changes that happened with AI and the agentic AI and AI that's embedded within the solutions that you can hear about it, every solution, that's where the decisions are being made on your behalf. That's where the hackers on the other side are utilizing the agentic AIs or the AI technology to speed up their processing, and whether it's in a good way or in a bad way, right? So today, as an example, there are lots of EDRs and antiviruses that are available in the market. All these EDRs and TDRs are reactive to the signature of the virus or to the threats, right? Now, with AI, you can have a code of a virus or a threat, put it in ChatGPT, request ChatGPT to rewrite it in a different way, bring the new code, compile it, and send it to the target machine. The antivirus is not going to be able to identify that this is a threat because it has completely changed the feature of that virus. And here where we need to move towards zero trust security and not anything that's not authorized at all from day one. Because you don't need now to an expert in hacking or a hacker to penetrate an organization. You just need a kid in the school who can do that easily and trust towards anyone, whether intentionally or unintentionally. So that's what we see today in the industry. Moving towards the banking and insurance, where all the fintech organizations are providing applications now towards all the individuals, right? And there are lots of APIs involved as well. Now, with these APIs, you need to secure them. I mean, security has to be there. He scheduled all this. And he did this specifically because the application at the backbone of the security event wasn't that secure. And the funny thing is, he got all the contact details through the APIs that were open and were not secure. And he was managing to secure all his meetings using AI. And he got quite a good number of people who really believe that this is a real human person who initiated this invite, and they received the invite to read that thing. So that's where we need.
That's amazing because you touched base on multiple aspects over here. The agentic AI, as Ms. Wali was also mentioning about, and also towards the believing those emails, whether it was a human generated email or it was generated by the systems from the agents. So that is going to be my last questions towards the human part, coming back to that part, Mama. How is your industry or how are you preparing for this kind of a governance framework to address the AI related the risk on its device?
Yes, one of the issues that it might be faced by the AI is the privacy of the data. Either as the personal data privacy or the company privacy data as well. Because not all of the data it has to be published. And you know that the capability of AI with the deep machine learning and the deep analysis, whenever it receives any such data, it can be, that utilize it in a different way. So the data privacy, it has to be make sure that it is being governed very well because this is an ethical, that you have to use it in an ethical way, not in an ethical way. I think that the governance of keeping proper data management for your personal and the business, that data, it needs to be properly given and controlled in order to save your business and yourself as well.
That's amazing because here the data what we are talking about it can be a national data as well. So utilizing that, even it can be the employees who are using that data, how they have been using within the AI, how they've been trained to make sure that proper data is being put inside that to deliver those results. So thank you, Mr. I want to come back to the market. As this is the Middle East, what we are seeing the vision of adding the AI, and you have been traveled to multiple other regions. What do you see as a change this AI sector?
So what I see happening in this region is the alignment between strategic investments and future. Undoubtedly has to be one of digitalization, has to be one of, I take the success that is happening here in the Middle East across all of the countries. Like, yeah, that example, what it's happening over in Europe. I see how reluctant many countries in Europe are to make that effort of understanding how they can align ethics of the AI with a movement and development of the AI that is inevitable. Go on, it's moving, right? The question is not if you are getting it right. The question is, are you being part of it? And sometimes getting it right means first, you might get it wrong. And I think in many cases, countries are not comfortable enough with that fact. They have not thought about putting the framework in place that allows them sometimes get it wrong, by which I mean you should be focusing on anticipating the impact of the implementation stage. And then you can move forward with it. If you don't do that, of course, you will inevitably fall behind. And unfortunately, I say unfortunately, because I grew up in Central Europe, so if I look back, I see that these countries continue to fall behind. And they're working well in taking the success model of the Middle East as the role model for them.
Thank you, Mahmood. So, Mahmood, I would love to come to you. Now, you have been experienced in the banking sector. The AI data is there. How does the human interference should be there? What is that extra layer you think as a human needs to take care still?
That's a very tricky question. With the huge amount of data, definitely we cannot rely on the machines or the providers. We still need to validate these data. Yes, the dirty job that needs automation to be done can be done by the AI and by the machines. But when it comes to realizing the data, focusing, doing the analysis, I believe humans has to have their own touch and such type of environments. Ensuring that, I mean, machines can still go wrong. They are accurate, but they can still go wrong. If they have fed with the wrong data, garbage in, garbage out. So you need to ensure that the data are correct, the analysis are correct, and the output are correct.
I would love to hear from you, Mr. Ali. We all know that people can remain as both the strongest link of an organization and also the other side is the weakest link. Now, with this era, now having the AI agents, what is your suggestion to the industries that they need to start improvising or look at it?
From the human perspective, I think that again, the data privacy has to be considered. The point is with the businesses nowadays, maybe they are leaking some of the critical information. So maintaining those data has to be properly managed by the organization itself, by having regulations, policies to stop leaking these kind of informations to the to the AI applications, because it might be used in a different way, or it might leak that critical information in very easy way. You might need to do a proper report using the ChatGPT, but on the other hand, this kind of reports, it will harm yourself and harm the entity that you are working on. So it is better to have a data privacy control on that one, proper governance, proper regulation and policies to govern the use of the data in such AI platforms.
So, attaching to that question, like as well as in governance, we need to have a proper governance and everything. And how about the AI literacy to the employees?
Yes, the awareness it has to be, that taken in actions. It's not just having them as an email, or they have to do a certain actions to avoid leaking this kind of critical informations with them open platforms.
Wait, is that going to be as an individual employee's responsibility to get them trained themselves, or is it going to be a culture?
It's individual responsibility because today, as an individual, you are using your mobile and you are under threat anyway. You have a bank account access, you have insurance account access, and you've got multiple applications. So you need to make sure that you receive, I mean, we've seen a lot of cases related to receiving an OTP and sharing this OTP with the hacker unknowingly, and they lost a lot of money due to that. So that's from individual perspective. From organizational perspective, it has to be part of the policies, and luckily within the financial sector, it's mandated by the central bank and the authority that and security awareness training is a must, and it has to be provided to all the employees, whoever is utilizing the energy of course. Now, for organizations, they have to be enforcing these policies towards all the employees. They have to increase the number of training, and they have to increase the efficient simulation just to ensure that the whatever they have learned, they can apply. They have to ensure that all their employees are cautious, they are alert, they do not connect blindly, and they are careful on clicking on any link, because one single click in an accounting department or marketing department or whatever can cause damage to the whole organization if he clicks or she clicks on a phishing email that caused the ransomware on his environment and spread across the whole organization. And that will lead to not only a stop or affect the operation of the organization, but the reputation and damage as well. And that each and every employee has to think about it. And the management of these organizations has to take a real action towards this and to increase the culture of security, not the charity of that organization.
When I hear both your statements and perspectives, I can say, of course, every employee is responsible to behave securely. Then we need to make sure that it's the AI models do not be data. Or if they do, that people are not putting more data into the model. So, talking about indirect prompt injection, talking about labeling attacks, etc. So now I'm thinking, of course, it becomes every employee's responsibility also to make sure we are not accidentally injecting the cost. We are not accidentally making the models more vulnerable. So it becomes almost hard for us in information security to train people to protect these AI agents from malicious inputs that accidentally could otherwise find their way in. Because one thing we know is people go on the internet and they will find that prompt that magically organizes the calendar and they will paste it in. And I think that like that in the US this year, there was a talk where they have shown a hidden prompt in a calendar invite as enabled the attacker to leave subject lines of email inbox. This is the number one date that I currently see.
I have a 13-year-old son. He just told me that, Mom, I can just go to the chat GPT's back in the coding and I can inject my way that the chat GPT needs to answer. So the initial stages when I used to see that he could do that because he was like, okay, I want to get my homework done, but the answer is coming wrong. And I was like, this answer is wrong. No, I injected this one to answer. So these days we see that the technology is growing, the innovations are growing. At the same time, it has been open not only to hackers, it's open to everyone that they can go and play around with that, right? Coming to an end of our discussion, I just have one last question, Mr. Prali. What is your suggestion for the year 2026?
It's a time for the innovation. For any such strategy, especially with the AI and the cybersecurity, we are in an era that we should innovate, then innovate, and last, we have to regulate. Because if you regulate from the beginning, then you will go more control there, which means that the innovation, it would be killed at that time. So for any such strategy, I advise to have the innovation part to be there. To understand what the market it needs, what the risk there from the cyber threats and from the other factors in order to build that strategy and the country level and even at the business.
A great advice to the audiences. I'll just come to Mr. Mahmood out of your side. As we just heard that you need to go and innovate as well as regulate. So what's your one of the advice to the strategy builders?
I think they have to go to the zero trust way. Since I'm handling the security aspect here, there are zero trust framework that's available in the market for quite years now. But there are solutions and applications now that are addressing each and every type of the zero trust framework. And that's what is because in today's era, you need to allow what was supposed to be allowed and deny everything else, unless you identify that denied solutions, applications, access, whatever is allowed. And that's where you need to secure your environment. Yes, you can innovate within that secure environment, but you need to have these parameters surrounding it just to ensure that whatever you've innovated doesn't collapse.
Great. So Dr. Martin, to end up with this discussion, what's your take on about all this?
I think it's the statement of saying you have to regulate and innovate at the same time. It's absolutely So we have seen in the IBM cost of the database report for the first time in 5 years that the average cost of a database has been reduced by 9%. And that has been specifically the case in organizations where they have been significantly invested in artificial intelligence, meaning it works. So we really have the opportunity at hand on the defensive side to do better and for once outperform the attackers. And they are catching up, right? We are waiting for first truly AI-enabled malware to show up. We luckily haven't seen yet. But it just means we are going in the right direction. We're doing the right thing. And I think we need to pushing forward. We need to keep pushing forward and increase the advantage that we currently have. And that will be absolutely essential next year for the next 5 years. 10 years. Yeah.
Great, thank you. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for incredible information about the evolving strategies and the cybersecurity test.